Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a design team project today for RachandBella Crafts, and I've chosen to work with a garden story. It's been a while since I've played with this kit, and I just felt in the mood for it. It's super pretty, and I really haven't put it through its paces, but quite a simple project today. I've chosen out this page. It is printed on presentation paper. Just, I don't know whether you want to know, but that's what it is. And I'm going to cut it in half this way, so on the long side. So my paper is 8 inches across, so I'm going to go 4. I'm just going to make a little mark in the middle at 4 inches top and bottom, and that's going to hopefully keep me straight. And out of this single page we're going to get 2 angle triple pockets, or double pocket and tuck, depending which way you want to go with it. Oh, where did I put my mark? Oh, there it is. The light was shining on it, I couldn't see where it was. Okay, I'm just using my craft knife for this, and I was inspired by a video from Debbie at Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. I'll link her video in the description box below. It's a reasonably short video. She did it really quickly. I've never made it before, so it's probably going to take me longer. But I really liked the project, and I thought I want to give this a go. So, scoreboard. Just going to grab out my scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard, then there's other ways you can achieve the same thing. Right, so she scored, whoops, we need that folded in, so line it up here. Debbie scored at 3 inches, 3.5. So hopefully this is going to work out for my page, because my page size is A4, and I believe Debbie works with US letter size. So we'll just trim it if it's going to end up a little off. So 3.5, then 6.5. I only just watched the video this morning, so the measurements are fresh in my brain. I must have been paying attention. All good stuff. So 6.5 and 7. So you've got 2 little 1/2 inch segments here. Okay, shall we do the other one while we're at it? May as well. So let's pop this on here and do, so 3 inches. Oh, I know what I forgot to grab out. Oh well, just have to do something different to what I was planning. I am planning a few minor changes over what Debbie did, just to suit what I'm working with and what I want to end up with at the end of the day. Okay, right, so 3.5, 6.5 and 7 are the score measurements. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but Snuggles is causing a little bit of an avalanche over there on the other side of the room. So starting with, now which way did she start with? The longer section at the bottom, I believe. And on that first score line, fold it down towards you. And then up on the next score line. Okay, so you've got this little bit like that. You see that? And then we're going to do the same on the next one. So we're going to bring on the first score line, bring it towards you, increase it on there, and then fold it up on that last one. Already super pretty. Okay, I'm now going to put glue in under the pattern side, so you don't need double-sided, single-sided is fine. but I'm going to put glue in here. Zoomy zoom. But do not glue this side, okay? Just glue in this pattern side, the 1/2 inch little, whatever you want to call it, gusset, I guess, would perhaps, I don't know whether technically it's a gusset or not, but glue those down. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one. So starting with the longer section at the bottom, fold it towards you on the first score line. Sorry, I was concentrating there, getting it straight. And up on the second one, and then towards you on the third score line, and then away from you on that last one. Super simple, really, not terribly complicated, I feel. Hopefully I'm explaining it okay. So again, just going in and gluing down those gussets. We'll just call them gussets because I don't know what else to call them. Only on the pattern side. Okay, if you glue them on the plain side, on the back, you're going to run into problems. You won't have your pockets. Okay, so now decide which side you want the pocket to be on, and maybe I'll do one on each side. So do one that faces this way and one faces that way. So this one, going to mark at the bottom. I'm sorry for those who work in centimeters. I quite often work in inches just because I find it easier. So from the bottom, on the side that you want the angle to be, I'm going up 1.5 inches. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to make sure it fits on my page. And no, it does not. Okay, so I need to trim it down to fit my page. Okay, so scrap that mark there. First I'm going to cut them down to suit my page, and I'm going to take it from the longest section, so it's going to end up not the longest section. So I'm going to go there, and this one as well, about there. Give them a bit of a chop, have some nice scraps left over. One, and so what I might do next time, because I didn't give this a test run, is I could make my gussets deeper, and that would take up more of the space out of the paper rather than trimming some off. But either way will work. Having a wee sip of my toffee. I guess it's kind of like a hot chocolate, but it's toffee flavoured, sugar-free. Okay, now we're going to come in and start again. So it's important that these flaps here are facing upwards. They're not going to work if you flip it and have them facing down. Okay, so they need to face up, because that's going to be a pocket, a little slide-in pocket. Okay, so this one I'm going to do the slant on this side. So 1.5 inches from the bottom, and make a little mark, and then at the top 1.5 inches in from the side, and make a little mark. So this one comes in this way, this one comes up that way. See how that works? And then you'll end up with, when we trim it off, taking a triangle off like that. Okay, I'm going to mark this one, and I'm going to do it on the opposite side. so that it will go on a different side of the page. So 1.5 up from the bottom, and then 1.5 in from the edge at the top. Grab my guillotine again, and I'm just going to line up the guillotine between those 2 points. So finding the points, and it doesn't matter if you're slightly off, it won't, absolutely will not make a difference. It'll just be slightly different. Here we go. So there we've got an angle pocket that way, and this one, line up our 2 points. And we've got an angle pocket that faces that way. Oh, aren't they pretty? I think they're super pretty. I'm just going to now rub out my pencil marks because I didn't quite kind of chop them off in places. Okay, so let's work with one at a time perhaps now. I will pop it on a page just so you can see how it's going to work. World UFO Day. Okay. Now, for this, Debbie was using a light cardstock. This is presentation paper, but it's not super heavy. So I would like to reinforce this edge here. And to do so, I am going to use just offcuts of white paper from when I cut out digitals, because I have a bunch of them. And I save the long edges so I can do things like this with them. So I'm not going to go right down there because I don't want to close up these pieces. Okay, so just going to give it a little bit of an angle so it fits down. Oops, trying to pick up the scrap and it just left behind, so we can tuck it in there. So a little bit of messing around, I guess, but it's just going to strengthen it and make it survive for the long term. Okay, so bit of glue stick on that. Just going to tuck it in under there. Oops. Just along the edge. And I'm going to do the same thing in the next section and the next section. You can skip this if you're using a heavier paper, or if you are only putting light things in the pockets, multiple pockets. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to put in them, so I prefer to reinforce them. I can't reinforce them once it's on the page. Putting it as close to the edge as I can get without spending too much time. And then the final bit has a little bit of a kink in it where it goes straight. So I'm just kind of going to do that angle bit, and that should be sufficient to reinforce the whole. Right, I could put a bit down the bottom as well, but I think it will be fine. Okay, reinforced. Now we can glue it on our page. Put those strips, because I'll need those for the other one if we get to it. And this is going to cover over this date too, which I like. Now, do I want it on that side? Do I want it on this side? Doesn't really matter, does it? Could put it close to the spine, but I think I'd prefer to have it this way. So I'm going to put it in here. So we want these to be open on that slant side, but at this end they can be glued down. So we, do I want to glue it at the top? So Debbie didn't glue it at the top, but I am thinking, because this is lighter paper, not cardstock, I could either reinforce the top and leave it open, but I think I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to glue 3 sides and make 3 pockets rather than 2 pockets and a tuck spot. So options there which way you want to do it. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that edge under the gusset. So going down into that little V there, just on that edge. Just so it doesn't sort of like pop up. So 3 edges and pop it down on the page. Just going to go right against the edge. I haven't distressed it actually. I probably should have distressed it, but that's alright. It's on the page now, so c'est la vie. Oh, like even without decoration, that is so pretty. So what we've got is I need something to demonstrate with. This is probably not big enough, but you've got a big pocket in the back here. Then you've got a little pocket here that's just got that gusset. If you can see that at the bottom there. So whatever you slide in is going to sit on that little shelf inside that gusset there. And have I got something else? Yep, this will do. And then same thing at the top, you've got that little, oops, that did not glue down. You've got a little pocket there. So you've got 3 spaces to put things. So this one goes up high, so you could have something taller. No, that's too tall. But like that could go in behind this top pocket. So you could put 2 quite big things. So can I find something bigger? So that works in that middle pocket. This works in that top pocket. I think I must have dislodged that glue, so I might have to re-glue that edge, but that's okay. What about tag? So, and then something larger right in the back. See how it goes full length. Isn't it cool? I just think it's really, really cool idea. Debbie did get it from somebody else that she saw on Facebook. I can't remember the name, but if you go along and watch Debbie's video, then she attributes where she got her inspiration from, which was somebody who doesn't do YouTube. They just do like little reels or stories or something on Facebook, whatever you call them. I'm not sure. Right, let's do a little decorating. I had meant to actually grab out some lace to like delineate the 2 pockets, the 2 smaller pockets. And I forgot, I did. So I'm wondering if I've got enough of something in here that will allow us to do that, because this is my smaller scraps. Theoretically, that is not a scrap, that's a whole length. But we've probably got something in here. What does this one look like? Oops, random bits falling all over the desk. I just think that would be really pretty to put a bit of lace along the top of each of those where the gussets are. Let's do a bit of tidy up there. And about there. And of course the pocket angles in, so you can't cut 2 strips the same width because one will be too long. Use my fabric glue here from Helma. It's an Australian brand. My favourite brand of glue to use here in New Zealand. They make pretty good glue. All the ones I've used, I've been in favour of, including their wood PVA, wood specific PVA. It's good stuff. Come on, glue. Come say hello. Here we go. Dries very quickly. Gently pat it down there. Oh, that's so pretty. So pretty. Love it. And another bit along here. So this is something that Debbie didn't do. She didn't add lace to hers. I just thought she was using paper that had each section was a different colour, so it kind of denoted where each pocket was automatically, just because of the patterning on the paper, whereas mine is one all over pattern. So I thought it'd be quite nice to do something that just shows where each of those levels is. Not essential, like you know, totally work it out without that, but still a nice little detail, I think. Isn't that pretty? I hope you can see how pretty that is. Just a little touch of lace. Okay, so now let's look at some things to decorate this up with. This is the big packet of fussy cuts and ephemera that go with the kits. Or, yeah, multiple kits, I believe, from memory. Guest designer on this one, I think. I'm not going to say the guest designer. I'll link it in the description box because I actually cannot remember which one it was. There's potential for 2 people that was the guest designer, so I'll just not embarrass myself by remembering incorrectly or attributing the wrong person. Little birdie would be lovely up there. Picking out a few pieces and seeing how we want to arrange them. Oh, look at the gumboots. The gumboots are cute. Flower pots. Oops, little flowers getting a little bent up. I mean, there's just a gazillion things to choose from, really. There's beautiful spring bulbs. I'm feeling the coming of spring. It's coming so close and I cannot wait. Maybe we put the little gumboots there. They're so bright and happy. Okay. But book page. Do we want book page? Do we need it? Probably not, but you know, one of my go-tos. Or maybe even some music. This one's been on the floor and my chair keeps rolling over top of it until I actually found it and picked it up, which was this morning. No, wrong shape. Doesn't work. Got a really cool darker edge on that. Sorry if I was off camera there. I was starting to get a bit relaxed in my chair. But I didn't want the blank space, so I don't want to cover over too much of this prettiness because it's, you know, why cover over the prettiness? Okay, Let's do a bit of inking, if I can get to my ink pad, which I've kind of just thrown stuff on top of. I would like to get a bigger desk one day, but it won't be where I'm currently working because I'm in the lounge, the living room, and it takes up enough room as it is of our living space. But when I can move back into the studio, which is a large room, I will have a 6-foot table to work from, and I'll be able to throw things aside and not have them cover over my working space or the things that I actually need, like my rubbish bin, my ink pad, my scissors, you know, my ruler. But that will only be in summer, because in winter it's cold. It's way too cold. I could not survive in there. There's no heating, there's no carpet, there's little in the way of insulation. It's just cold. So will not be working in there in winter, even when I do eventually get it sorted and, you know, the space sorted. Is so full in there. Furniture we need to get rid of, things that have been dumped in there for somewhere to put them, stuff that came out of the shop when we closed our little shop down, stuff that came out of the Arts Collective when we closed the Arts Collective down, and assorted goodies I've collected, which I find and then lose, and find and lose, because things just get shuffled from point to point, and it just does my head in. Really does my head in. I know I've got something, but when I want it, I can't find it, and then I go in looking for something else, you know, however much longer after that, and then I find what I was looking for a month ago, but can't find what I need now. It's just the story of my life. Super frustrating, not helpful. Just a little bit in there, I think. So you decorate it up as much or as little as you like. I'm kind of thinking, do we make up the other one and decorate it, or do we spend a bit of time making things to go in these pockets? I don't know which way I want to jump. Do I have anything to make pieces to go in the pockets? That's the other thing. I think I do. I'm sure I do, actually. I am covering a reasonable amount of this beautiful paper, but it is a digital. I can print it again and use it in its full glory somewhere else, in some other piece of ephemera or journal page. I'm trying not to be too precious about papers, which I can reprint. I don't need to be precious. It's not like a scrapbook paper pad where, you know, might get 2 or 3 of a design, and then once you've used it, you either buy a whole new pack or just move on to the next thing. These, if you have your favourites, you can print them over and over and over again to your heart's desire. And around the gumboots, or the wellies as they're called in Great Britain. Got British friends, and I love hearing her say, well, better get the wellies out. I think it's so cute, and know exactly what she's saying. You know, it's not one of those words where you think, what the heck is wellies? It's like, I know what wellies are. Exposure to British literature, I think, growing up. But it's just cute. It's just one of those cute words that makes me smile for some reason. Maybe it's just the accent that goes with it as well. Cute. And up the top, well, they're not much help, are they, for layering up under the bird? Do we want the bird? I don't know that it kind of fits with these, what I've got going on in the bottom. Actually, I kind of like this. It's like the empty plant pots. Then we've got a ticket here with flowers, like almost to me like a promise of something. We've got gumboots, wellies, indicating, you know, some work to do. And then we've got the flowering. I like that. It kind of, to me, tells a story as it goes down the page. So I'm going to go with the empty plant pots. Well, one of them's got a plant in it, but the rest are empty. And it's going to sort of relate a little timeline, I guess. Before you get the flowers, you've actually got to do the work and plant them, or, you know, get some soil or tend to them. They don't just, well, some plants do just grow because they self-seed, or a bird drops seed or something. But, you know, generally you've got to put a bit of work into these things. Yeah. I don't know what it is about my brain. It likes to find little stories to connect things. Is anyone else like that? Like as you're composing your ephemera or your journal or whatever, it kind of develops a little story, little mini stories. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens quite a lot. And I don't hear any other creators talking about the story that's forming or what they see forming in story as they create. So I don't know. Am I abnormal? Probably. I am a bit crazy every now and then. So good news on my mother-in-law. If you're new here, my mother-in-law has cancer and she's been undergoing treatment. She was diagnosed at the beginning of March and has had a lot of treatment, a lot of difficulty with things being delayed because her health kept diving too low. And the latest round, she's finished all her treatment, but she's ended up back in hospital. And then she came out for a few days and spent time with her sister because they couldn't do any further investigations until her platelets rose. So she was at 36. They should be at 150, but they needed them to get to 50 before they did the next test. And so we had a report yesterday, her latest blood test, her platelets had risen to 80 something. So she's back off into hospital today as I'm recording this to get her next phase of testing to see why she can't keep food down. She likes food. She'd love to be able to eat, but it's been since, even before she was diagnosed, it's been very, very difficult for her to eat, and I would love for her to quickly get back to the point where she can enjoy her food again and keep it down and not continue to fade away. Okay, so there we go. We have our 3 little pockets, or a big pocket, a slightly smaller pocket, and then a small pocket. How are we going on time? We have time. Let's make some ephemera to go inside, I think. Let's rain this container of goodness together and get it off my desk. Oops, without closing my cuff in it. Crunchy paper bag on the shelf there. Right, so I do have some scraps of papers from the kit. This is that the same one? It might be the same one. There were 2 that were similar. It could be the other version, I can't remember. This one, it's got a daisy, a white line, daisy and dot print. You might not be able to pick it up. This one, green and white gingham. And then this lovely blue floral. So I've got those available on my desk. We do have some tag bases as well. It's a little bit small for the pocket. Would it work in, and it's too tall to go in there, but I've got an idea. This one's lovely. little garden shed scene. We could cut it down. I think I'm going to take a little bit off the top. And about just up from the bottom of that blue pot. I'll just turn it around so I can line it up a bit straighter. So I'm going to err on the shorter side, I think, just to make sure it's going to fit. So I've just cut the tag down. A couple of fun little scraps there. And that's going to fit in there. This one is just a background pattern, so we could, is it, okay, it's too wide. But that's all right. Let's just trim it down. I'll go both sides. So I'm going to go about there and about the same in on the other side. So about that. And then I'm going to trim it about, I can't make the measurement there because I'm going to end up chopping it off and then I won't know where my mark was because it's gone ski. So let's do the side ones first. Be logical about this, my dear. Okay, we've just got tiny little angles there. We might give those a bit of a alteration as well because I haven't cut evenly, so one's different to the other. That's all right, we can alter that. Just kind of using what I've got to hand. So want to line it up. Actually, I might chop the top. So if we're going to redo the top, then I might as well just trim the top off. So do I want to make it a bit shorter? Let's make it a bit shorter than the back tag. I was going to make them same length, but then I thought it would look better if they were staggered. Okay. And now we're going to turn it back into a tag, and I'm just going to do that by lining it up on this one. Oops. Line it up. Why are you not lining up properly? There we go. Holding my tongue the wrong way. And then the other side. Might be easier if I actually have the pattern side showing so I can see the difference between the two bits of paper. Okay, so we're going to have a tag here and a tag here, not staggered in by much, but a little bit. And then for the big pocket behind, I'm thinking of using one of these papers here. So which one? I could use this beautiful, I think this is the other one. There's two very similar. Yes, it's the other one because this is a whiter flower rather than the creamy yellow, so it's definitely a different page. Let's trim the white off. Really enjoying playing with these papers again. I just didn't have time to really fully appreciate them when they first came out. It was in the midst of all this drama going on, the worst of the drama with my mother-in-law and my mother as well. Lots of health issues been going on this year, and it's been very challenging. Right, Need to trim down the height. It's a little bit tall. Here's a fun scrap. It'll be fun down the side of a page or something. Okay, and what I'm thinking with this is to fold it in half and have it as a little fold out journal card or notelet. And that will just tuck in the back there. So take those out and you get the big writing space. I'll distress around it. We'll decorate it up as well. So let's do that first. Oh, this is fun. A little label-y piece like that. Let's That's going to go there, and I'm thinking, do I want something coming up out of that? What have I got in this stash here? Thinking something floral. There's a spade. Not quite what I'm after though. Sorry for reaching up under the camera. Oh, there's a tag that's already backed. It's a bit of fun. There's all sorts of things to play with in here. Here's a barrel with flowers on it. That's cute. But it covers too much of that pretty background. A stack of books. No, it's not my vision. I had in mind something specific and I can't seem to find what I'm looking for. Well, that could be quite cute. I want to put that at the top. No, I like it at the bottom. Just put this away for a moment so I've got a kind of less busy background to play with. Might help me visualize a bit better. I think it gets a bit lost. It's not large enough, I feel. I think I do have some larger ones. Let me just have a wee look in my container here. I might have to steal one off my other project. Or maybe not. There's some I haven't cut out yet. Yay! Got a few pages of ones. So this one, because this one's backed for my design team project I did back when these kits came out. So I won't steal it from that project. We'll just look for one that I haven't actually cut out yet. This is beautiful. It's so pretty. Do we want the blue? That would, the bluey purple hyacinth, that would show a bit more, wouldn't it, against the background. Let's use our bigger scissors just to cut it out from the page. And I'm just going to do a quick cut around. There's a border around these fussy cuts and I'm just cutting sort of halfway into that border. which means I can cut fairly quickly. So you don't have to worry about all the little details because they're all encapsulated within the border, so no fear of cutting them off unless you're like a bit too crazy with the scissors, get a bit too Speedy Gonzales. Who remembers watching Speedy Gonzales on cartoons? The little mouse. Arriba, arriba. I can't say it properly. Little Mexican, is it? A Mexican mouse? Racing around. I can't even remember what he used to do. I just remember the catchphrase that he would say as he sped off to the next thing. Speedy Gonzales. Speedy Mouse. Ah, those were the days. The cartoons were so cool back then. I loved the old cartoons from when I was growing up. Is that because I grew up with them, or is it because they were better than today's cartoons? I don't know. I feel today's cartoons tend to be a bit same. I might put it over top. Do I want it over top or poking out in the bottom? I know, I labour over such small details. But it's just how I rock and roll, my friends. So what cartoons were playing when you were growing up? What's kind of one that you think of every now and then? Like, I haven't thought of Speedy Gonzales for, decades since I actually thought or remembered about that particular cartoon. But what cartoon was favourite for you when you were growing up? My favourites would have been anything Disney, so like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, those sorts of ones. They were definite faves. And non-Disney, well, I don't know, maybe it was Disney, don't know. I loved the Snorks. Anyone remember the Snorks? The little undersea creatures things. And they used to have stickers and bubble gum. And I used to like collecting the Snork stickers. And my friends at high school also, or some of them, collected them as well. Yeah, Snorks. They weren't around that long. But they were really cute and fun and different, just like really different. Again, I can't remember what they did, like what the cartoons involved, what they did during the episodes. I guess it was just the fact that they were something different and very creative. Very creative. So let me know if you remember the Snorks, if you used to watch the Snorks. Funny name, isn't it? Now I say it, and the more I say it, it's like, oh, that sounds that sounds like not a word. Let alone as you know, a whole cartoon series based on these creatures, undersea creatures. Like I remember one that was like a seahorse. I don't remember any of the individual names. Right, so I will ink around that. I'll leave the inside white, but I'll just ink around the edges, and that will tuck in there. I'm thinking, do I want a word? Water, please. Easily distracted by plants. Well, that's not me, but could be somebody. I think I'm going to leave it for now. I just love this beautiful background paper. You can see the colour difference. It's definitely a different paper when I really take notice. Okay, that's that. And two tags, which I buried. This one I feel doesn't really need anything. We're going to ink around it. I feel it could do with backing. So how are we going on time? We do still have a few minutes. I could perhaps back it. But you know how to back things, so maybe I'll save that to do off camera. Oops. My goodness, I can't keep hold of things this morning. It just flew away onto the floor. And I've lost something off the back of my desk too. Just when I grabbed these tags, something fluttered off on the other side of my desk. Will it ever be seen again? That is the question. It might be doomed to the pile of falling over stuff. I've got a stack of books right in front of my desk. And I wanted a book out from, you know, as you do, the middle of the stack. And I was at the end of my reach, trying to reach it. And I got the book out, but the rest of them all went, and they're just supported by each other very haphazardly. So far, they haven't actually fallen any further, but they will. Sometime they will. But I'm guessing that whatever fell off the back of my desk is now caught up somewhere amongst that mess. It's such a state around here. I'd be super embarrassed if you could actually see around my desk. It'd be horrifying. How much space? Do we want to put something at the top on that? I don't think so, because we haven't got a lot of room there. And we don't want to sort of bulk up near the spine. So I don't think I'll put toppers on either of them. This one needs backing as well, but I'll do the backing off camera. And let's decorate this one. I mean, we could just put that on and bam, it's done. But the strip that we cut off, we want to kind of lay that on somewhere. I think I'm going to be a bit fancy here and cut it, or try to cut it at the same angle here. Pretty good. Give that an ink around as well. Don't waste anything around these parts. This should be the junk journalist's catch cry. We don't waste anything. You don't need that wrapper? Give it to me. I'll use it. Don't need that bit of plastic? It's got a cool pattern. Give it to me. I can use it for mark making, on my jelly plate, or in my mixed media. Oh, can you relate? Certainly hits my button, goes, yep, that sounds like me. There's one particular rubbish bin at my hubby's work. One of the workers, he gets some really interesting rubbish in his bin, and quite often he will keep something aside to offer it to me, but other things he doesn't. And whenever I'm there hanging out at hubby's work, I will go to his bin and just give it a wee once over, and he's fine with it. He knows I do it, and it's all good because it's rubbish, right? He doesn't need it. He's thrown it out, and I think he gets quite a chuckle out of me doing so. Okay, I like that. Do I want to lay anything else underneath? Where's my book page gone? Have I buried it? Probably. I don't know where it's... Oh, I put it away. What a random thing to do. I mean, putting stuff away when you're not using it or think you're finished with it. What a ridiculous notion. I think I want it a little bit narrower. Yep, I'm just enjoying layering up, adding texture and detail. This is coffee dyed, so I'm just hitting the edges where it's torn, because there's a little bit of white showing where that's torn. The layers of the paper have torn this way. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing this project come to be. Remember those score lines at 3 inches, 3.5 inches, 6.5 inches and 7 inches. Trim your paper to make sure it fits on a page of a journal that you would make, and then 1.5 inches up this from the bottom and 1.5 inches in from the top edge, and then cut that on an angle, and that's pretty much all there is to it. That are the important bits to get the result. But I'm sure even if you don't remember that, you can do different measurements. You could do different heights, different widths. It's entirely up to you. Make it fit your journal, and maybe springboard the idea and do something else with it. And remember that back one can be a pocket or a tuck spot, just depending whether you glue it on 3 sides or 2. So many options. Don't you love a good bit of ephemera that has multiple ways to be used? I certainly do. Refilled my glue bottles this morning, so they're all good to go, and I made sure they weren't clogged, which was good because one of them was. Normally I do that sort of thing on camera. It's like, oh, why didn't I check before I started filming? Yeah, no. Today I did. No, I feel like a word. I'm just going to grab a stamped word, I think. Well, what about lovely in blue? It's not lunchtime, Puss. You're a bit early, like a whole hour and 5 minutes early. Go back in the sunshine and try again in an hour. Then you might get some food. He's funny, Puss is. I think, or we think, that he forgets he's been fed. And so he's constantly like, food, food, but you haven't fed me for like a year. I'm starving, don't you know? It's like, no, you had breakfast, you had a snack, go away, come back at lunchtime, because he gets 3 meals a day now that he's old, because he's super skinny, and he's an utter right nutter. So I'm covering up that bit of book page at the bottom, but that's okay, and that is not straight. Let's try and amend that. Have I made it better or worse? No, that's better. It's like, I couldn't tell whether it needed to come off the top or the bottom. I was like, well, I just got to choose one and see what happens. Fortunately, I chose the right side to trim. So lovely. Or do I? No, I want it centered. Okay, so very spring vibes going on here with this kit, which is perfect for me right now as we are still in winter. But there are signs of spring coming and I cannot wait. Warmer days, roll on please. So from a single sheet of paper you can make 2 of these. I've still got this one here that needs decorating and reinforcing and that sort of stuff. So we have our, I've made mine a back pocket, so I've glued it at the top, and so we've got a pocket at the back there. We've got a pocket here and a pocket here. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. That's gorgeous. All ready to go in a journal. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this project. Do head along to Debbie's video. It's around 26 minutes or so from memory. It's not a long video. Give it a watch and give her a thumbs up as well if you do watch it, because you know, supporting each other is what we do here on YouTube. And while I'm at it, go grab yourself this beautiful kit if you haven't already. So the links will be in the description box. Beautiful kit from RachandBella Crafts. Stunning papers to work with. I really need to do a bit more with it, I think. Take care, have a great day, and I'll be back again with another video tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye for now.